And the next guy is Kyle Trask, quarterback out of Florida. This is a guy that in 2 years at Florida as the starter the last 2 seasons really made a name for himself. Started off this past year as a Heisman Trophy candidate. I mean, this guy was playing at an extremely high level. Looked like he was going to really make a serious run. Kind of cooled off as the season progressed. Had some ugly games mixed in, especially that LSU game. Again, I think they kind of underestimated LSU in that game. Didn't think that the Tigers, who weren't very good in 2020, weren't going to be able to get them in that football game. Didn't play Kyle Pitts, even though he probably was healthy enough to play. It backfired. Kyle Trask struggled. They ended up losing that football game. Anyhow, let's take a look at his QB card and analyze him. So the strengths for Kyle Trask, his size. He's a big kid. He's 6'5", 239 pounds. So right there, you're getting a guy that is built to withstand the rigors of the NFL game. He can stand tall in the pocket, see over the offensive line, see the defense, see where his receivers are. You like your guys to be that kind of size if you can get it. But a lot of these quarterbacks aren't built 6'5", 240 essentially. Adequate arm. His arm isn't going to blow you away. But again, it's above average. It can get the football everywhere it needs to go. And I don't have a problem with his arm strength. It's really, really good. It's good enough to get the job done. Accuracy at all 3 levels. That's the thing that really excites you if you're a Kyle Trask fan, is that he can throw the football anywhere, short, intermediate, deep, and he can get it there accurately. You give him a pocket to work in, a clean pocket, and he'll do damage. And so his accuracy shows up time and time again. This was a guy that was in 2 years at Florida, in 22 starts, in 24 games, but 22 of them starts, was damn near 70% completion percentage. And we're not talking a whole bunch of slips and bubbles. This is a guy that's pushing it down the field. This is a guy that is really pressing the button against defenses and really applying pressure, pushing the football vertically up the field. So to be at around 68% is saying a lot. Touch and anticipation. He can drill it in there when he has to, but he throws the football with a lot of touch and anticipation. And when you're going to complete it at a 68% clip, you better be able to anticipate, especially if you cannot move. If you're not a guy that is very mobile and able to extend plays, you better be able to anticipate and get the football to guys before they come out of breaks. And Kyle Trask is able to do that. And he's able to do it at times with feathery, soft touch. I can't tell you how many times he put the ball up 50-50 style for Kyle Pitts with so much touch, and Pitts was able to go up and get it. Or there's a linebacker over the middle of the field, 17 yards up the seam, and he has to put a little bit of touch to get it over that linebacker before the safety can get over the top. But that underneath defender, that linebacker trying to get depth to get it to his receiver or to his tight end, and he was able to do that. Pocket mobility, again, if you aren't going to be getting out of the pocket and extending plays, you better be able to manipulate the pocket. You better have pocket mobility, be able to slide left to create that extra half a second. You better be able to dip that shoulder and step up and be able to get the football on that corner route to your wide receiver or tight end. He's able to do that. Working within the confines of the pocket that has been constructed for him, he's able to do that. Pocket poise, not afraid to stare down the gun barrel. He's not unnerved by pressure. There are some of these guys that get really fidgety. Pressure starts to come. They sense it. It may not even hit. They may have it protected, but they feel that pressure. Even if it's not there, they get jittery, feet start to get happy, and you get inaccurate throws. That's not Kyle Trask. If he has to stand there and take a shot, he will deliver the football down the field. And so that's something that I really like about Kyle Trask. Also, he's got the ability to extend plays. Like I said, he's not a big-time runner, but what he will do is he will duck that shoulder. Pressure's coming off the edges. He'll dip that shoulder. All right, he'll step up. He'll get out of that B-gap, and he'll look to extend to throw the football. And he will tuck it and run, which is the last strength His willingness to run. He's not afraid to tuck it and run. They ran him at Florida at times. And so he's not afraid to tuck it and run. He's just not going to go very fast nor very far if defenders are close. But he's not afraid to tuck it and run. He will extend plays to try and throw it. But again, he's not the best athlete, so those opportunities are going to become very limited for him at the next level. Those windows are going to be reduced, and those opportunities that he had at Florida to extend plays maybe become even more minuscule at the next level. His weakness is obviously lack of mobility. He's not fleet of foot. Speaking of which, he's heavy-footed in and outside of the pocket. What do I mean by that? You can see when a guy has lead in his feet. He wants to move his feet. They're just heavy. He can't move them but so fast. And then add to the fact that he's wearing knee braces. I don't know how heavy the knee brace is, but it doesn't make him look any faster. That's for damn sure. You can tell that his feet are heavy. There are times where he wants to move, but he can't move fast enough because his feet are extremely heavy. And so you see it outside of the pocket when he's running. He's running as hard as he can, and he's just not going anywhere. And in the pocket, there are times where he wants to move, where he wants to vacate, where he wants to create, and he can't. His feet are just too heavy. Ball security. This is a guy that in 2 years fumbled 10 times. Okay, he lost 7 of those. So that's a big number for a quarterback. 5 fumbles in each of the last 2 seasons for Kyle Trask, losing 7 over the last 2 years. Got to protect the rock a little bit better. There were some games in there where Kyle Trask was excellent. 5, 6 touchdown passes. He's shredding the defense. And then there are games where he's got 3 or 4 interceptions. I mean, his last collegiate game, Oklahoma, he threw 3 interceptions in the first quarter of that game. Not the first half, the first quarter. Now, granted, in his defense, like his top 4 targets were not available. They had already opted out. We're getting ready for the NFL draft. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're throwing to the 10th guy on the roster or the first. You can't throw 3 interceptions in the first quarter. Sorry, you can't do it. And so that LSU game, struggled in that game, turned it over about 3 or 4 times. He's got to protect the football better. And he's not a playmaker. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He's a guy that wants to do his damage in the pocket. He's not a guy that's going to extend a bunch of plays. He's not a guy that's going to make a bunch of things happen he's a guy that needs to be on schedule. He's not going to be able to extend a play and make things happen when things break down very often. He needs to have playmakers around him. He needs to have a Kadarius Toney on his football team. And he had playmakers, which is why he threw 43 touchdown passes this year. You know, he had the kid Grimes. He had Kadarius Toney. He had two of his players, his skill guys, are going to get drafted in the first round of Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts. He had talent around him, but he's going to have that at the next level. He's not a guy that's going to elevate the play of those around him. So for me, he's my 6th rated quarterback in this draft.
LouieTeeNetwork.